Yo, welcome back to the channel. Ed Talks About. I'm Ed. Hope you're having a good day, man. So today, I'm going to be talking about hash rosin, live resin, and shatter. What are these extracts? So if you don't know, I'm going to give you a quick rundown today on what they are and how they're made. Let's start off with rosin. Now, rosin it was created a few years ago. I don't know, about 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago, something like that. And there's two different types of, well, there's a few different types of rosin. First of all, you've got flower rosin. Flower rosin is when you get your bud, you stick it in between two hot plates, you squeeze it down with a lot of pressure, like you see in these rosin machines. Some of them are hydraulically powered, some of them have a pump, some of them have a screw lid, but it's basically hair straighteners, yeah? Two hot pads, two hot plates, and then you put it in between it, you squeeze it, and the oils come out. You clean it up and you dab it. So that's how they first started doing it. And then you've got hash rosin. Now hash rosin, it can be made two different ways. You can make bubble hash, which is water, ice, agitation, run it through a screens, and you get left with the heads and all the plant matter comes out, all right? That's bubble hash. Now you get your bubble hash, you put it in a little, looks like a tea bag, stick it in there, fold it up, you get your parchment paper, you put it in, you remember them presses? So you stick it in the press, you push the pressure down, and because you've got no plant matter, you've got hash, you get a bigger return. You get like a lot, you know, like you get, say for instance, you put a gram in of bud, and then you squash that, you're only gonna get one dab out of it. You know, like literally one dab out of a gram of weed. So when you get a gram of hash, well, there's no plant matter, it's just the heads. See what I'm saying? So you get more of a return. You put a gram of hash in, depending on the quality, you can get up to 0.8 of a gram back, if it's really good quality. You've got two ways you can make hash as well, bubble hash. You've got one which is fresh frozen bubble hash. Now what that is the plant has grown, it's been cut down, the buds have been trimmed off basically into a freezer, frozen instantly. Yeah, then you take them buds, you mix it with your water and your ice, you agitate it, and you pull it, all right? Then you get left with fresh frozen bubble hash. It's called fresh frozen because of the process that I've told you. You've also got bubble hash that you can make from dry products. Now, the drier the product, the darker the product, the hash will be at the end because the heads mature over time, all right? So you get your dry product, you mix it with your ice and your water, you sieve it through, and then you get your hash. So there's two different types of hash. Personally, fresh frozen hash is the best one for me because all the terpenes and everything are preserved from harvest straight into a bag. That's the best one, that's what I would choose. And then you have dry sift hash. Now dry sift hash is the dry product. You can't get dry sift from fresh frozen, doesn't work. It needs to be dry, it's called dry sift. So you harvest your crop, you dry it out, cure it, however you want to do it. Then you break it up over, if you just Google so I'm going to put a picture up of these screens. You sieve it over these screens, you break it up, you agitate it, and the heads drop through the screens, and you get different grades of hash. Now that's dry sift. Now to make the top hash rosin, you'll need the top banging either dry sift or bubble hash. That's how you get really good quality hash rosin. If you get hash rosin that's dark and everything like that, like it tastes a bit popcorny, that's because they've used crap product. At the end of the day, what you put in is what you get out. You put crap in, you get crap out. You put fire in, you get fire out. So yeah, that's a little breakdown of hash and making hash. Evidently I got on one. And what hash rosin is. So hopefully that can help you. So let's move on to the second one, live resin. Now live resin, see how the hash rosin, the rosin is made with just the plant, either water and ice or just heat. There's no solvents involved. When I talk about solvents, I'm talking about alcohols, gases, whatever, all these type of solvents, yeah? So live resin is when you get your plant, do you remember the fresh frozen what I was talking about? So they chop the plant, they cut all the buds off the stems into a freezer, it's frozen, deep freeze, boom, right? Then they take them nuggets, they put them into usually a closed loop system, but I'm just gonna explain a rudimental version. So they put it into a chamber, and then they blast that chamber with whatever solvent they want to use. What it does is the solvent strips all of the THC, CBD, all of the heads off of it, the terpenes, everything. Then they get as much as that solvent out of the product at the end to give you your live resin. It's live resin because it was cut, frozen whilst it was live, you know, straight in. That's live resin. Shatter. Shatter is very similar to live resin, except it's not made with fresh frozen product, although it can be made with fresh frozen product. People like the stability of Shatter. Shatter is basically made the same way as live resin, except you don't have to use fresh frozen plants. You can use dried plants to get Shatter. So it's literally the same process, exactly the same process. All companies and people have their own way of getting the solvent out of the product. So I'm not going to go into detail on how they get the solvent out of the products. That's another video. I'm just explaining to you what these products are. So yeah, so then that's Shatter. It's basically the same, just not made with a live product. And one other thing I should cover. I should cover distillate, because distillate is the crap of the crap of the crap. Like, you don't understand. If you've got a pen out there that's just distillate, that's probably purely just THC made from a really old product and gone through CRC process. Now, CRC process is a cleaning process that you can have a dark oil, you can stick it through this process of filters and stuff and get out and specifically want a certain color to your distillate. You can specifically tailor your pens to have that color each time, you know, and you could be starting with, and the product can be good, bad, whatever, and they put it through and it can come out, but the products used for distillate are never really top notch. I'd say 99% of companies making distillate, they're using crap. They're using crap, moldy stuff probably. Stuff that's been sitting on the shelf for about 2 years, just sitting there degrading. See what I'm saying? It's crap. So if you're gonna get a pen or something like that, I would suggest getting a rosin pen. Now, only because, I mean, yeah, you can get live rosin, you can get that in a pen. But me personally, I'd rather stick to the natural version of just basically cropping it, washing it, pressing it, vaping it. So much more, it's clean, isn't it? It's clean. It's got none of that butane or propane, whatever them man want to use. It's got none of that. So my advice would, if you're gonna go for pens, I'd go for a good quality rosin pen. Distillate's pony. And distillate is purely, you don't have distillate that's got a full spectrum of cannabinoids. Usually 99.9% of the time, distillate is just THC or just CBD. Do you see? It's not a mixture of cannabinoids. So you need to get onto, now you're getting onto the entourage effect and everything like that, you know. So, I mean, when it comes to distillate, they strip everything. It comes out as tasteless. It doesn't have a terpene in it. It looks the color that they want it to look. Just stay away from distillate. It's no good for you. Maybe cheap. There's a reason behind it. Some things are just too good to be true. So if it's that cheap, just leave it. Leave it, leave it, leave it. If your plug's telling you this come from America and I'm charging you £30 or 40 quid, leave it, man. Like, you don't know what's going on, bruv. Like, you really don't know what's going on in that pen. So just, yeah. Anyway, that was just a little lesson on a few little extracts. Rosin, hash rosin specifically, live resin, shatter, and crappy distillate. So listen, if no one said it to you today, I'm gonna say it to you, all right? I love you, and I hope you have a blessed day, and hope this video helps somewhat. You probably know it all anyway. Peace out, my people.